Hey, smart and good looking viewers. I'm going to have some fun today. I don't usually talk to my neighbors a lot, so I end up falling behind on all the info in the area. So I did a little checking on what's going on, and I've got KB's neighborhood update for you today. It is going to be fun. And also, we're going to have the regular hilarity news and Kenneth's quote of the day. And it all starts right now.
It's KB's unemployed sheet. He's unemployed and didn't know what to do, so he started a shame. Lots of box jobs to kill time. He didn't know what to call it, so he called it KB's unemployed show.
Yes, indeed. KB's Unemployed Show. I am here again today, day 94 of unemployment. That's where we stand. 94 days unemployed. No signs of going back. Sue thinks I'm looking, but she doesn't watch this. She doesn't have any idea what this is. And I don't think anyone we know watches it either. So I cannot get in trouble. But big snowstorm coming this weekend. Of course it is, because I just took all of the stakes out around my driveway. So you knew that was coming. Like to send, what day is it today? We're celebrating today National Single Moms Day. So to all the single moms out there, I'd like to wish you a happy day. Hopefully you'll be able to get maybe work the day shift, be at home at night with your kids. But I totally appreciate how difficult it is for women out there to take care of their kids. And it's tough being a mom, much less being a single mom. So hats off to all the moms who struggle. My mom was a single mom for a while, worked incredibly hard. It's why I was a latchkey kid. So probably why I am more self-sufficient, it's kind of self-sufficient, kind of figure out stuff on my own. But my mom worked insanely hard. And then as a single mom, so I kind of firsthand know how it is. This is not what she did, though. I mean, my mom was not a stripper at all. In fact, growing up in Antigo, I don't think we even had strip clubs, as far as I could tell. But now you get like that Texas Jays, where they took the big Badger gas station on 45 North and they turned it into a strip club. It was the big. It has a big badger up there, and then it's like a hollowed out log with a squirrel on the top, and then strip club. So had class today. Now my class has got 15 students, and I've noticed trends in students because I've been doing this for about 17 years teaching, and I've gone through some phases too, don't get me wrong. But I had a class of 15, five students showed up. Only one student was there in the classroom when the class started at 10 a.m. I don't get it. I get college, okay? I totally get college. And I'm not one of those people that is like, this is your education, this is your future that you were talking about here. You have to develop good habits. Because when it gets right down to it, I don't really give a rat's ass. I will help the kids that want to be helped. If you don't want to be helped, I don't have time for it. I used to just agonize over every single student. And then I kind of finally realized some kids just don't care. And so I'm pretty good at picking up the ones who do care. They're generally the ones who show up. My class is the easiest A anyone will ever get, because there are no tests. There are nothing is objective, meaning I can't give a test where it's right answer, wrong answer, right answer, wrong answer, because I teach creativity. Um, so it's unbelievable, unbelievable. Five, four of them after class started. Piper the news girl was there. She has not missed a class. But finally, by about 10:15, a total of five, and I cannot figure it out. On the very first day, I tell them participation is 30% of your grade. I'm telling you, all you got to do is show up and you're going to get a great grade. And they still don't show up. And I'm just going, okay, what do you want me to do about this? What do you want me to do? And then if you crush them on their grades, they don't understand. They don't understand why. Why? And I try and tell them that, okay, all I'm going to do with this is you're going to build habits, and you're not gonna know what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, but everything relates. And I mean, it really does. Everything builds off of each other. And my whole objective is, when I first started teaching, it's like, okay, they have to earn their grade. They have to, I have to bring the tablets down from on high and present it to them, and just all of the knowledge that I have. And then I realized that college is, a lot of it is bullshit. And so I kind of took a different approach about 3 or 4 years ago, and I just said, I'm just going to have classes that will get you to do. I'm going to put you in situations where you feel uncomfortable, and you can get comfortable feeling uncomfortable. But I'm not going to crush you on the grades, because it's a class on creativity. So how do you grade creativity, right? Oh, you're more creative than the other person, or you can draw better. Well, that's a skill. It's not, using your head. And I just want them to use their head, because, they're still kind of young and you don't know where genius is yet. Well, anywho, five show up, five. And so I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. Now, I do some things where I don't post lecture notes. And but they don't care. Maybe I went too far to the other side. It's like, well, if I'm not getting a test, then why do I even have to show up? Okay, well, that's fine. But when you get smoked and all of your grades are good, because I don't grade difficult, I'm not a difficult grader. So if all your grades are good and you don't show up and you think you're getting an A, guess again, Sparky, because 30% of your grade is participation. And if you don't show up, you can't participate. You can't participate. All of a sudden that A turns into a C. And then you go, what did I look at all my grades? Well, you idiot, you didn't listen to me. Gotta listen. But Ben says, can I drop them after so many no-shows? I don't think I can at UWM. I could at Marquette do a administrative withdrawal, and I've only done that once because there's too much paperwork. I mean, I generally won't fail anybody. I'll give anyone a chance. I don't want to fail them because, I mean, this shit's expensive, right? And I'll get you through, and at the absolute bare minimum, you might get a D, but I'm not going to fail you. I don't want people to be. I know how much my son's in debt, for God's sakes. So I don't want to fail them and have to spend that money 2-for-1 anyway. And then as I figured out that I'm not going to hire them. So really, why do I care? But only five students showed up today. And then here's the other thing that they do. Classes at 10 o'clock. Now, I'm not going to be pulling any of this Lombardi time bullshit on, right? Classes at 10, that means be there at 10 to 10. No, I'm not going to do that, but 10 o'clock. They'll roll in at like 10 after 10. And it's like, just, hey, all right, how you doing? Roll in, sit down. It's 10 after 10. There's literally no sense of urgency. None at all. And I'm looking at that and I go, okay, well, if that's the way you're going to be. Now, I had a situation like that where I didn't hire a former student, but somebody in my company did. And then she ended up working with me. And we had a 8:30 a.m. meeting every Friday, a standing meeting with a client, a phone conversation with a client. She was supposed to be there. And she would roll in about 8:40 and then come in. And I'm 10 minutes into the phone call, right? And after about 3 weeks of this, I'm like, okay, screw this. We're going to teach you a lesson. So 8:30 comes, I start the phone call, boom, door shut and locked. And I don't acknowledge. Misses it. Misses it 2 weeks in a row. Okay. It's like, can you not get the hint of what's going on here? You know, I don't want to be a hard ass. I'm pretty, you know, I want to be pretty nice about it, but you know, I got a job to do too. I got things done. And I do remember this girl said to me, hey, I don't like sitting in a cube. And could I like go work at a coffee shop or something like that? Because that's what a lot of people were doing, going sitting like at those, like at the Hudson Lounge in the Third Ward or something like that. And she goes, can I go work at a coffee shop? I just said, you want to work at a coffee shop? She said, yeah. I go, I can make that happen. Never asked again. But you know, you just do those few things and show up, and you know, maybe when National Single Moms Day comes around, this is not going to be you. That's all I'm saying. But that one girl who went on to start dating a party, you know, a DJ, you know, you know, just waiting for the beat to drop. But the rolling in whenever thing I don't understand, and maybe it's a generational thing, I think. And I'm like freaky when it comes to promptness. I mean, there's a like if it's let's say it's a 10:30 meeting, I've got this like weird or I'm picking someone up at 10:30. I've got this weird thing that I've got to hit it right on the minute. Where it's like, okay, boom, 10:30. I got to go right at 10:30, not 10:27, not 10:33. Boom, I'm going to hit it right on the nail. That's my problem there. Okay, that's my issue that I got to deal with. But anywho, so we're going to have some fun today. I think, well, maybe not. Probably be a shorter show today, but I came across some things that I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you're interested in them, but I got to do something. So I'm just sitting here talking. I may have another, you know, Piper, the news girl, can't do every single show. So I'm going to rotate news people. So I may have another one coming in next week. And I'm just going to, well, what am I doing? I'm using them, right? I mean, let's call a spade a spade. I'm not making any money. I'm kind of feeling things out. I'm trying to create something here. It's good for them, though, in the sense that they get to practice things and learn how to hone their skills. I can honestly say that and maybe you can tell me differently, that I've actually gotten a little bit better at this because I'm doing it every single day, where I had no freaking idea the first couple of weeks what I'm doing. And now I feel more comfortable, but that's what it is. It comes through doing this over and over. So hopefully I'm helping them out, but I don't know, maybe not. Who knows? But I'll have someone else on next week. And then we get into next week. Tuesday is going to be St. Patrick's Day. I'll talk about some of the St. Patrick's Day excursions that I had. I don't go out anymore on St. Patrick's Day. I'll explain why next week. So what are we going to do right now? What are we going to do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. It is time to get to the news, today's headlines. We're going to start off with Americans have gotten sick and tired of tipping culture. Now, I got sick of it a while ago, but there is a survey that was done by Wallet Hub that found 81% of Americans think tipping has gotten out of control. Really? Okay. Boy, what tipped you off to that? 40% think the U.S. should ban tips altogether. Now, you can't really do that. 64% think businesses are replacing employee salaries with customer tips. Well, there is a tip wage, right? 55% of people say they often leave a tip due to social pressure rather than good service. 20% say they will tip less when presented with that screen. And then 33% say tips should be split evenly. And I think in many cases, tips are split. I don't know if it's that in restaurants. When I was a bartender, you would split with the cocktail waitresses, or the cocktail waitresses would get all the tips, but they'd have to split with you. You're making their drinks, they're going out and they're serving the people. They'd have to tip you out. But yeah, the tipping thing has gotten absolutely obnoxious. Now, if you want to talk about another thing that I'm freaky about, it was tipping. I have finally broken this habit. But I'm not freaky about tipping. Because I worked in the service industry, I'm a pretty good tipper. But I had a way of doing it that my wife thought was incredibly weird, and people do. And I always had to end on 00. So let's say the tip was $10, or let's say the bill was $10.94. And you do everything on a card, right? So they bring you the receipt, fill it out. So at $10.04, I always would go a minimum of 20%. If I had really crappy service, it would be probably 15 or whatever. But what I always had to do is I always had to round up to the 00. It just became this compulsion of mine. So like if I bought if the check was $10.94, the tip was going to be, I would take the number, the first two numbers, which would be the 10, I would, double that, and that gives me the dollar amount. So 10 would be 2, the 1 would be 2. So it's $2. Now I'm sitting at 20%. But then I would finish it out with $2.06. $13. It would take me to that. I don't know why I did it. My wife thought it was crazy. I probably was. That's what people go, oh, well, that's my OCD. No, it's not. It's not OCD. Unless you like came in and flicked the lights on and off 5 times before you sat down. But everyone's gotta have something. But the tipping culture is like absolutely insane. And I've seen the things. I fall into that category of, if you flip that screen around and you're telling me what the tip is going to be, no, other, and then I'll just put something in, because the way I look at it is, and I understand tip wage, because I don't even know what it is now, but when I was in college and I worked because I was bartender at a Howard Johnson's, and I don't know what my hourly was, but it was crap, right? It was $2.91, or I don't know what, the $2.90 maybe. But then you got your tips, right? And that was supposed to make up for it. So the tax rule, I remember, was that it was a great way to rip off the government with tips. It was an awesome way to rip off the government if you knew how to do it, right? And what you would do is the legality of it was 8% of your wages. I think it was 8% you had to claim in tips. And so I would see, when I came to the end of the year, I would keep all my money, but then I would put my tips in at maybe 12%. And it was a hell of a lot more than that. A hell of a lot more. But I put it in at just a little bit higher in case the government comes looking for you. That they, yeah, well, it said 8%. I was honest. I put 12% in. Why would I do that? But when they flipped that thing around, and I have seen now, and I cannot believe this. Tell me, what is the highest? If you're watching this, put in the comments. What is the highest that you've ever seen in terms of when they flip that screen around? What the tips are going to be? I've seen 60%. 60% tip. Are you dry shaving me? 60%. That's crazy. You're not that good. As Johnny Vegas would say, 60%, that better come with hand relief. Speaking of which, I got a story about that in a little bit. But 60% is crazy. David says, my daughter saw 100% at a restaurant in Minnesota. Okay, why would I go to that restaurant? That's the thing. If you're expecting 100% tip, why would I pay twice as much as what that menu item is worth? It makes no sense. Why would I double the price? If I go to a place and I have a steak, and you go out and buy a steak now, it's crazy. You're looking at New York strip, $58, $63. Why would I pay theoretically? Why would I pay $126 for that steak, unless it came with hand relief? I'm just saying. Now Europe has got it figured out. That's all I'm going to say. And I had this conversation with somebody because now we're in the whole thing about getting rid of the penny. And if people can't, make change or that way, if they don't know how to do it now the rounding up and rounding down, I mean, I don't really care. But I will say this, the Sikh convenience store owners have been doing it forever. If you ever noticed, they never really cared about the pennies. They'd always round it up, and they were light years ahead of the rest of America when they were doing it. But it's rounding up and rounding down. And I'd like to know, like, if you're doing, let's say if you're a Quick Trip and you're rounding up or rounding down, what it would be like. They've had to run the math on this, right? And I think what it is, if it depends on the change, if it's something with a 6, it goes down. All right, my camera's back. All right. Anyway, so the whole tip thing, right. The pennies. I was talking about the pennies. They've got to run the numbers on that to know how they're going to make money on it. But Europe has got it figured out. Europe has got it nailed. You don't tip, right? They don't expect tips. Why? Because the owners of these places have figured out how to pay their people a living decent wage without having them beg from you. Even if you try and give someone a tip, they don't like it. But the other thing that they've got figured out, and I love this more than anything in the world, and this is a conversation I was having with someone the other day, just a rando lady at a bar. Sue and I were out for dinner and we were talking about, because I paid with my watch. That's what I did because they had that. And so on my watch, I just go like this. And I made the comment. I said, I went through Europe a couple of years ago and never took out a euro and paid for almost everything with my watch because it's pretty much a cashless. Everything was cashless. But the other thing that they do, everything is to 0-0. There's nothing in it's not 29.76 for something, right? It's not. There's no change. Everything is 0-0. If you want to get a pizza, it's 17. That's it. That's 17.55. They're not trying to eke out all this stuff. And they just price it in a way that they can pay someone a decent wage. And I think more people ought to do that. I think if you had a restaurant and that was your thing, that's how you did it. And everything got rounded up to 0-0. I think people would be a lot happier with you. And you didn't have to tip. But here's the problem. If you went and you hired someone to be a server because tip culture is so ingrained in us, and you said, you know what, I'm going to pay you more an hour, but we're not going to get tips, they'd be pissed. They would be completely pissed at you. What do you mean we're not going to get tips? You're supposed to get tips. Well, there's a trade-off. Now, the other thing that I do is if, let's say bev cart girls or bartenders, because if I don't know how they're doing their accounting, I tip in cash all the time. Because let's say you give someone a $10 tip and then they put it into their check. Well, what's coming out, that $10 tip just became $6, after they take out taxes and all that bullshit. So I tip in cash too. But then I don't have cash that much anymore. But I have tip cash always, and then I got homeless guy money. And I don't have homeless guy money that much anymore because I'm not working downtown. But when I was working downtown, I always had homeless guy money. So it's basically stripper money, but it's singles and stuff. And I had it in that hidden thing in my car. And if I saw a homeless guy or something and I was at a light and boom, here, pull out a couple of bucks, there you go, have some homeless guy money. And why not? I mean, what's it going to hurt me really if it makes the guy's day? Kathleen Madigan had the best line about that. She was walking she goes, I'm walking with a friend of mine and there's a homeless guy there and I gave him some money and they turned around, they looked at me and go, he's just going to go take all that money and use it to buy booze. And she goes, who am I kidding? Someone drops a 20 on me, I'm probably going to go buy booze. So yeah, who are we to judge? There is a new game out. Okay. I love this. I've got to see this. Well, it's not out. It's being tested right now. It's a new video game and it's called Karen's. And now this is awesome. It's under development, but they've done some tests and it's described as a beat 'em up sandbox game. So the way it starts out, the description is the mall denied your refund. Now you're going to make them pay. Slaps, shoves, just all sheer entitlement. And it's like a rage simulator. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. I love that when people get so freaking triggered. I don't know what the hell ever happened to us, but it's like everyone just is triggered about everything. Why? Everyone's got a problem with it. And that's why I was saying that, if you go to the Drew and KB website, there's a thing, and I haven't gotten around to doing it. There is a thing called merchandise, and it's got some really cool stuff. I just haven't. We're going to get that all up and running, and then you know, December 9th hit. But the one of the shirts that I want to get is can't anything ever just be okay? We can't even do that. Everyone's got to have a point of view on something. No one can go, huh, okay. That's what we need. We need more. Huh, okay. Yeah, how about that? Okay. And move on. We can't. Everyone's got to take issue with something. So I think the game Karen's is pretty good. And it says retail hell just got a new overlord, and it's you. Scandal. There is a big scandal. Scandal has literally rocked the world of Camel beauty pageants. Yes, there is such a thing. A beauty pageant for camels. Who's got the most beautiful camel? So here we go. 20 camels were disqualified from Oman's 2026 Camel Beauty Show Festival after veterinary inspectors discovered extensive cosmetic enhancements. They are cheating in camel pageants. The owners of these camels had used what they're saying hyaluronic acid injections for lip enhancement on a camel, dermal fillers around noses, Botox for facial softening. The fucking camel. Silicone wax to inflate the humps. Well, I mean, come on. Let's call a spade a spade. It's done here in America, right? They've made an industry out of it. Hump inflation with silicone. But festival organizers said, no, we're going to put an end to this right now. They vowed to halt all acts of tampering and deception in the beautification of camels. And they will impose strict penalties on manipulators. Either your camel's pretty or it's not. We will not have enhanced camels. Because some of the, beauty pageant stars that we see now aren't enhanced. The whole thing is enhanced. Everyone's enhanced. But camels are judged on their coat, their neck, their head, and their humps. And the winners usually have very shiny hair, muscular necks, long eyelashes, and plump humps. They carry multi-million-dollar prizes, so and they will increase the camel's value. Next thing you know, it's going to be like camel trafficking. You're going to get them fixed up and they're trafficking camels, damn it. What the hell is going on? Hollywood, okay, we have I'm going to probably rerun the segment tomorrow with Matt Miller and Piper where we talk about as a preview for the Oscars, but one of the things that's come with the Oscars and the Academy Awards that you always hear about after the fact is the gift bag, the swag bags that they get, where you go, they would go, the nominees or the presenters. It's the nominees, and then there's a swag bag for the presenters. The presenters have a nice swag bag, but the nominees really, really get the swag bag. And, we've heard what's in there. It's a lot of luxury items and things. Set a record this year with the swag bag. Now, if you're a member of the media, right, and you go to things, they've always got a media gift, and it's always a duffel bag. Pretty much all the time. That's what it is. I have so many freaking duffel bags from the Badger Showdown or from the Final Four or this or that. Here's your duffel bag. Okay. But we never get them like this. Here we go. Took a look. They added up everything that's going in these swag bags. The Everyone Wins, they call it Everyone Wins nominee gift bag. And when I tell you how much it is, you're going to go, no shit, everybody wins, right? Here we go. The amount in this year's Everybody Wins nominee bag, the official retail value is, wait for it, $346,621. Every gets $346,621. So if you're like a film editor, great. You're not making that kind of coin. If you're on one of those little documentary things or something, yeah, it's going to be more than you made doing the movie. 34 fucking grand. A lot of it is travel. One of them is a stay at the Can Nemo luxury villa in Ibiza. That's valued at $65,000. There is a luxury villa in Costa Rica that comes with a concierge service, private chef, and a driver. That's going in the gift bag. And the thing is, the people that are getting these gift bags already do this stuff. It's so obnoxious for what they're getting. And it's like, and then they come out and lecture us on being good to others. Okay. Anyway, in this gift bag this year is, and I don't even know what some of these things are. Maybe you can help me. Vegan Gunas, Gunas handbag, a vegan handbag. Okay, what is a vegan handbag? It's what, cloth, right? But a vegan handbag. A sculpt and lift weight listed facial from a spa. Liposuction experience from Art Lipo. I don't know who Art is. A gold edition wallet that's made of gold for carrying cryptocurrency, which I didn't even think was currency. So I must be walking around with a flash drive or something like that. A customized prenuptial agreement. I love this one, from divorce attorney Jim Sexton, celebrity divorce attorney Jim Sexton. The Grohe Euphoria 140 shower head, and I'm gonna have to look that up and see how much that is. I'm gonna get back to you. But the shower head is important. That old Seinfeld episode about heavy flow. Marlo, vegan handbags are vinyl, probably pleather. Japanese luggage sets from Asia Luggage. Now we're getting into a whole bunch of weed. Yeah, there's Bebo luxury cannabis products, microdose liquid packets. So a whole bunch of weed is going in this thing. A smile makeover package, dentals from Beverly Hills Dental Arts. Facial rejuvenation from Dr. Konstantin Vasuvich. Chocolate covered pretzels. I like a good chocolate covered pretzel. These have flecks of gold in it. So, and the other thing that they're getting is a thing called Pick Boom, a party card game. And I looked up what it was, and it looks like it could be kind of funny in the sense that the way the game is played, you get a word and then you get your phone out. And the first one was a picture that matches on their phone that matches the word or best matches the word. So it's probably kind of like Cards Against Humanity and Pictionary, I guess, or whatever. But how'd you like to be the card, So the party card game has a retail value of $29. And you're sitting in the bag like that, and you're going up against a luxury villa in Ibiza at $65,000. Talk about sucking. I get it. Man, you're the worst. And finally, I love this story. This is in Florida. And it's not a Florida man. But a Florida massage parlor owner has been arrested on charges of prostitution. No, tell me that's not true. What happened was detectives, I love this. Like, you really could probably get away with this pretty easy if you wanted to. I know that I was where I used to stay, where the condo was that I stayed at in Scottsdale. There's a rub and tug joint that was right next to the police station. And I get it. You know, I get it. Guy gets off his shift, a little stressed. But anyway, but you got to keep it on the down low. I think everybody knows, but you got to keep it on the down low. Well, anyway, detectives had received reports of only men visiting the business. Yeah, pretty much. But then being greeted by an Asian woman who was naked sometimes when they answered the door. You know that you don't want to do that. Answering the door naked. But anyway, the said, okay, we're gonna have to surveil this. So then they put it under surveillance, and the cop said, yeah, you know, we gotta put this under surveillance. We gotta keep an eye on this. Sometimes things are gonna take a couple of visits to get enough evidence to make the arrest. Couple of visits. Yes, officer. Well, an undercover officer had gone in, arrived for his appointment, was never asked for ID. And I don't go to massage parlors, so I don't know. I mean, the only massage I've had like medical massages and stuff like that, or I've had a massage at a spa, at like a resort. Although one time I did in Playa del Carmen as with Johnny Vegas, and we did go into an off the street massage parlor, which was kind of sketchy. And there was no it wasn't a happy visit. But it was just like I can't believe I'm here. I just thought this was one of these things where the next thing I know, no one is going to find me, and I'm going to stumble back to the hotel missing a kidney. Well, anyway, the officer said he didn't get asked identification. There wasn't a log, so apparently there's supposed to be a visitor log, which is a couple of arrests, or which is a couple of red flags, but still didn't have enough to make an arrest. So then went to get the massage, and he was offered illicit services for $50 or $100. And then when he told her that he had to go to his car to get the money, that's when the multiple detectives swept in and they arrested the woman. So she faces charges of prostitution in a massage establishment and other violations. Now, I'm just going to say this. If you're trying to find one of these places, if it's got lotus, orchid, yin yang, any of those things in the title, safe bet. Pretty safe bet. That's what you're getting. I would bet the ranch. Although this is very funny, and this happened maybe before my son moved, and we were driving out to dinner or something like that. And where I live, I know that there are two of them, and most people would not know. And we're driving, and we're going out to dinner. We go by one of them, and I just make the offhanded comment about I'm going in there for a massage sometime. And my wife goes, really? I'm like, no, it's a rub and tug joint. And she goes, what? And then I explained rub and tug. And then she said, we have those here? And I said, yeah, we got two of them. And then my son, without missing a beat, goes, 3. What? So instead of, and then this is where I messed up. So instead of going, I didn't. That was not my reaction. So he said, we got 3. And my initial reaction was, where's the third one? That was not received well at all by Sue. Where's the third one? That I wasn't totally taken back by the concept of Asian massage and how terrible it is. But oh, where's the third one? I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. I actually did. In fact, I thought it was very funny. So today, what are we getting to today? One of the things is Nextdoor. What's happening next door? And this was, I was saying, what's going on with my neighbors. And it's not necessarily my neighbors. I'm not going to call out any one of my neighbors. That's just not right. And I also did it once when I was first in radio, made a comment about something that happened in the neighborhood. And I never, I mean, I live to regret it, right? And so you can't talk about people you know. And even if I do, I will weave it in that it's not obvious. So I'm not talking about my actual neighbors per se, unless I talk about a neighbor that I know I don't like, and then I'll just rip them up one side to the other, up and down one side to the other. But I'm talking about what's going on in my neighborhood. How do I find out what's going on in my neighborhood? Well, every once in a while, I'll open the Nextdoor app, which can provide you with hours and hours of entertainment if you're scrolling through it, and probably a lead on 10 or 12 leaf and gutter places, because that's all it is. And then it's a whole lot of Ring camera videos of coyotes at 2 a.m. walking across somebody's lawn. But I went to the Nextdoor app, and so went through and I screenshot, and then I pulled out some of my favorites. And you realize what an effed up neighborhood you're living in, or area, if you will, when you start reading these things. And it's like, dear God, really, this is what we're worried about? And I always thought it would be funny, like, because they're always saying, hey, does anyone know? They need painting. They need a handyman, portable handyman. You know, they're just looking for somebody. Basically, when they post this stuff, they're just throwing it out there. So someone will go, yeah, yeah, I'll do it for, X amount of dollars, right? Or whatever. They're looking for the cheap way out. And I saw one that says, I need someone to come over and look at my furnace. Someone affordable to go over and look at my furnace. And I felt like reaching out. I think this is funny. I felt like reaching out and saying, hey, you need someone to look at your furnace? Yeah, I do. Well, I kind of do this on the side. I'd be more than happy to go and look at your furnace, come over and look at your furnace. It's $50 for the visit, $50 for the visit. But then after that, it's only $20 an hour, with the first hour, no matter how long you go, is guaranteed. I want that. So that's what I want to say. So I'm saying $70, right? $70 just getting in the door. And it's reasonable. Someone's going $70. Oh my God, I thought it was going to be 500, and it's only $20 an hour. That's a steal. But what I want to do, so tell me when you want me to come over and look at your furnace. What I want to do is show up and then go, okay, where's the furnace? Then they'll take me to the basement, and then I just want to sit and look at it. Not fix it. Well, the ad here said, how much to come and look at my furnace. I am here. I told you how much it was going to be. So it's going to be $70, the $50 call, and then $20 for the first hour. If you want me to stay another hour and look at your furnace for 2 or 3 hours, I'd be more than happy to do that. But I wanted you to fix it. Well, then you should have said it in the post. I mean, come on, people. People misconstrue things. But I would love to do that and see what someone would do. Just go over and just look at the furnace. But I went to the Nextdoor app, and then you realize that, my God, why are we worried about this stuff? There's a lot better to worry about. A lot of things going on that we should be concerned about, and not this. But then again, you go, this is it. This is what puts you over the edge. This is what is keeping you up at night, or this is the way you see things. And you get some people where you can tell, you look at them and you know they're probably just lonely, which is very unfortunate and sad. So they're just posting anything out there. So that hopefully that might be the only friendships they have is the response to the comments section, which is somewhat unfortunate. And I'm not making fun of those people by any stretch of the imagination, but some of the posts are awesome. So I screenshotted some of these posts. Now, what I've done with the posts is, in anonymity, I have taken out the last name and the location. So you don't know what subdivision they're in or anything like that, because I really don't want to incriminate anybody and I don't want to give out, where they live or what have you. But you scroll and you look at them and you just got to smile. So this is the first one. This coming from Glenn. Anyone missing this in the Lincoln Drive Preserve Parkway area in Germantown? Well, now you know. But that's not where all of these are. Didn't cross that one out. Anyone missing that? I don't even know what that is. And if I had one, I probably wouldn't miss it because I guess, but I have no clue what that is. So I wouldn't know if I was missing it or not. But, Glenn found it. He's getting it out there. So you got to love that. Here we go. I love this. Hi. My name is, I am from blank. I'm currently looking for work. I have over 8 years moving experience, 5 years of landscaping experience, and a few years of basic family medicine. I dabbled in that. I dabbled in family medicine, trying to learn anything new and willing to grow and learn. Now, okay. You dabbled, a few years in basic family. What the hell does that even mean? You must not have been very good if you had a few years and then went on to 5 years of landscaping and 8 years of moving experience. And then it says my moving job has slowed down. So apparently for the last 8 years, he's had a moving job. Needs work ASAP, but let me know. And then has his phone number. A few years in basic family medicine. Wouldn't want to pursue that medical career where you might make some money. No, we're going to go into landscaping. Not that you can't make good money in landscaping, but a few years in basic family medicine. That's like one of those guys that lives in Florida and is doing Botox injections or liposuction. A lot of dentistry down there too. There's a lot of basement dentistry in Florida. Whole lot of it. How about this one? Here's another one. Very surprised to see this at a front lawn this morning. First such incident in 25 years. Any thoughts? Yeah, your kid's a geek. Just like a total dork. Or, it's homecoming week. Or you had a kid at school that did something incredibly obnoxious. And they're getting paid back for it. Yeah, those are my thoughts. And those are probably true. Now, I will tell you this. It was very funny. I have a neighbor who did this. And this is going back probably 20 years, at least 20 to 25 years, somewhere in that, because our kids were, well, maybe not 15 years. They might have been in high school at the time, right? When TPing a house was something that happened quite often. And all of a sudden, houses were getting TP'd in our area. And about once every 4 nights, 3 or 4 nights, someone's house was getting TP'd. And it was a mystery. It was an absolute mystery. No one knew. It was almost as if it was like no one knew who it was, and then they just stopped. And so, like, if you were tracking a serial killer and that happened, maybe it's like not BTK, BTP, right? And then they always say when you watch these, there was killings for 6 years and then they stopped. So we thought maybe the guy was dead or he was incarcerated on something else, and then they started up again. They just stopped. No one said anything until about 3 years ago. And a guy who lives down the street, hey, remember the summer everyone was getting, TP'd in their house because everyone was pissed, right? Because it is kind of a pain in the ass. Yeah, I remember that. And he goes, that was me. A dad is going out and another dad were going out in the middle of the night, going to these houses and TPing houses and letting the kids get blamed on it, watch everyone freak out. I thought that was genius. Genius, I tell you. Fantastic. So we got that going. How about this one? This is good this weekend. The snow could go straight to hell. To all you snow lovers, just because you want the snow doesn't mean I should be forced to deal with it. I shouldn't have to move to a warmer state to get away from it. Yeah, you should. That's kind of how nature works there. I don't understand that last sentence. I shouldn't have to move to a warmer state. Yeah, you have to. It's not like it's fake snow being dropped on you. But, again, somebody's just bitching. That's all it is. It's like bitch, bitch, bitch. It's all you're doing is bitching. Here's another beauty. Let's take a picture of a raccoon. He's dead, but he looks like he's sleeping between miles 6 and 7 on the trail along George Washington Parkway. Well, thanks for pointing that out for me. He's not sleeping, he's dead, so you have no worries. As if like raccoons sleep, they just sprawl out anywhere. But thanks for the tip. I love that. This one speaks for itself. Sandra. I wonder how old Sandra is. My children and grandchildren order from here all the time. They have good prices. Amazon. What rock did you crawl out from under, sunshine? Yeah, Sandra's got to be 90, right? Wouldn't you think? She's up there. Amazon. You got to try this Amazon place. It's awesome. This is using the Nextdoor app in a way that kudos to this guy. You're my spirit animal. Guy is sitting in a Hampton Inn and just hits Nextdoor and says, can someone bring me a pack of cigarettes? Like, why not? No, I'm not pissed off about, I don't need someone to clean my gutters or anything like that. I just need a pack of heaters. And I want to know if anyone did. Because that's one of those that if I were sitting there and I'd see that, I'd be like, damn it, I'm going to go get this guy a pack of smokes. I definitely am. And then you can just mess with people. Well, I'll get to that one later, but you could mess with people. I love this. Marie is upset with Panda Express. So this is just this is a place too for Karens who like to write. Or I don't even know what they call the male equivalent, Tods. Went through the drive-thru at Panda Express. We were told to drive around by the front door and the food would be brought out to us when it was ready. My son pulled ahead so he wasn't blocking the door, but this enraged woman who was coming out of the store with her daughter, walked by her vehicle, was complaining loudly about us being parked there. She backed out of her spot, she pulled alongside her vehicle, turned her head, and mouthed obscenities. Yeah, I feel sorry for people who become so outraged over trivial matters, like you got outraged with this. But yeah, people get triggered over anything. They get triggered over a lot of stuff. But what did she have to do? Walk a foot and a half out of her way to get around them? But you took the time. You had to take the time to go to your phone, open the app, type it in, spell it out, and send it. You couldn't just go, okay. See, can't anything just ever be okay? Solomon just wants to know where to get some really good French toast. The French toast, I think a very underrated syrup-bearing vehicle, if you will. A lot of people go right to the pancake or the waffle. The French toast is it's overlooked. It's the forgotten morning bread type food. So I don't know. 12 people helped him out. I don't go to see where it was, but Solomon, I hope your French toast is good. How about this? Anyone missing a partridge? It's been hanging around here for 2 days. No. It's like oh, there you are. There you are, Petey Partridge. Oh, I've been looking all over for you. Is anyone missing a partridge? I grew up north of the wall. I went bird hunting, but I knew people that had weird, strange pets. I've never encountered anyone with a partridge. Ever. Never had. Nope. Much less missing one. I would, that, like I said, I'd love to mess with people like that. That would be one that I would mess with somebody and say, yeah, that's mine. Where did you find her? And then go get it. And then like take it to a wildlife place. But oh, thank God you found my partridge. Oh, that is so happy for you. But then, messing with people on here, what are some healthy ways you detoxify your body? Also, have you ever done a parasite cleanse? Well, no. I've been seeing a lot of videos on social media about all the parasites we have in our bodies. What's the quickest, easiest way to get rid of them? And we go down here. I hear anus sunning draws the parasites out. It is notorious in this state since we rarely see the sun. So I have some old incandescent light bulbs I can sell you. Ping me if you need it. Anus sunning. I have heard of that. I have not done it, but there are people that it's supposed to be good for you. Look at my light complexion, right? I'm not sunning the balloon knot at all. That's like the last place I want sunburn. I'm outside 5 minutes and I'm red as a lobster. Okay. This summer, again, I'm working on a golf course, but in the last 2 years, I've hit for the skin cancer cycle. I've had it all: basal cell, melanoma, squamous cell. Yeah, I've got them all. So my anus is not seeing the sunlight. And I'm not putting lotion on it either. They're going there and it's like, yeah, what are you doing? I got to put lotion. I got to put the SPF 50 on the old bunghole. Going outside, going to sun my anus. And it says, yeah, that if you do that, the parasites will crawl out. What the? No, I do not want no, there are parasites in there and it's not bothering me. Stay as long as you like. Right? Yeah, do you want to get rid of them? But I don't even know there are any in there. They said we have a bunch. Right. Unless it's like a tapeworm, or something like that that's so blatantly obvious. The little micro parasites, fine. But one that I would love to, I would love to mess with people on that and then just say, put a post up about, okay, that was Panda Express. Oh, here we go. Christina, anyone else have bad sinus pressure issues? Do you guys take Flonase? What are the side effects? Ask your doctor. Your doctor prescribed it. Your doctor prescribed it. What are the side effects? Ask your doctor. I don't know what the side effects are, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a swelling, a redness, a rash. Probably, I don't know if it cause any infections in the perineum, which is the part of the body between the genitals and the anus. That's in a lot of them. So yeah, you can pretty much figure nausea, body aches. You can pretty much assume all those are there. But then yesterday she was making dinner, fighting to keep herself awake. She almost passed out over the stove. So she had to stop taking her Flonase. Now she's just congested. Here we go. I was talking about tips. Herb, out to eat, give a $23 tip and no thank you. Then again went out and give a $25 tip and no thank you. Okay, Herb. Feel bad for you. I feel bad for you. And then the last one here, and I just happen to love this. Jack says, evening, everyone. Hoping you're all well. Jack, you're the kind of neighbor I want. I want a Jack in my neighborhood. Jack's just looking out for you. Jack just wants to make sure that everybody is happy. Jack is a hell of a guy. Just checking in on everybody. Hope you're all doing good. Well, thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. That is fantastic. But maybe I think I'll do this because this guy gave me an idea that I think I'm going to create a burner account on Nextdoor. And then I'm going to go and start posting the most bizarre things that I can possibly think of. Like, has anyone here made egg foo young at home? If so, how was it? And then just throw that out there and let's see what we get back from the people that are replying. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Looking for a recommendation on fungal nail clippers. I'm getting older and a problem with toe fungus, and these are very, very difficult to clip. Has anyone used a Dremel on their toenails? That would be a good one. If so, how did that work out for you? And what size grinder did you use and at what speed? And see if anyone replies. Now, I do not have toe fungus, right? I don't. My toenails are fine. They're not the best looking things in the world, I will freely admit. But there is no fungal growth on there whatsoever. But maybe I will start doing that, do those most bizarre posts and then see what people get back. So note to self, put that one down. Hey, anyway, we've crossed the 1 hour mark. Now, Piper is not here today, so we don't have a fun fact of the day. And I don't know why I did this, but I'm going to try this right now because I did not. I'm going to probably peek around the side of this when I give this to you. But we're going to conclude the show as we usually do. But this time we're going to conclude it with Kenneth's quote of the day. Of course, Kenneth, my dog. Kenneth is a very learned dog, and he likes to put quotes out. He likes to inspire people. He's very inspirational, 65% American Standard Pit Bull. And so that is now time for... It's Kenneth's quote of the day! And today I'm leaving you, or should I say, rather, Kenneth is leaving you with this quote. And this is one of my favorite quotes of Kenneth, where he says, no great story ever started with, so I was out having a salad. And he's right. No great story has ever started with, so I was out having a salad. Just remember that. And it's all about the story. So I will be back on Tuesday, but I'll be posting stuff throughout the weekend. If you want to check back, I haven't decided yet, but I'm also thinking of doing a live stream during the Oscar red carpet. Just if I can find someone to do it with me, maybe Newsgirl Piper or somebody else. We'll sit there and then we can just trash people. You can follow along with us on the red carpet. But if we do that, then I will let people know on the channel. Again, thank you for stopping by. I always appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, some of you have. If you haven't subscribed, hit the like and subscribe button. It's going to help me get to the point where I might be able to make some money. But it's not the reason I'm doing this. The reason I'm doing this is I'm just having fun. But hit the like or subscribe button if you so choose, and then share it with somebody else. I know that there were a lot of Drew and KB fans out there, and I get it all the time. What are you doing now? What are you doing now? And then I have to explain it to the point where I almost might get a business card and go, this is what I'm doing. But spread it around, share it with your friends and say, hey, this is what KB is doing. If it's good, if it's not, okay. But you can always go, and I put little clips up so they don't have to commit to a whole hour of KB. But I love the fact that you guys do. It makes me feel good about myself, and it makes me feel like I'm actually providing a service to this world. So I want you to have a great weekend. Hopefully you don't get snowed in. Hopefully everyone stays safe. And of course, as I always say, make good choices.
And that's it for this episode of KB's Unemployed Show. If you want to follow me on my unemployed journey, just subscribe to my channel below or dive into one of the playlists for all my unemployed action.